G'day everyone, the Global Surveyor here. Today I'm in my router on Old Telegraph Road, which is a road that's not quite formed, as you can see. Dirt, rock, quite bumpy as you go further down there, and I'm doing a boundary survey. Just want to come show you what I've got here. Got a boundary angle peg that I found that's been recently put in by someone, which is good. Always nice to see a new peg, and I've observed that already. You might notice that my GPS receiver is missing, and even though my GPS is tilt compensation, I just decided to turn the tilt off and rely on the fence post as being pretty vertical. I'm not really interested in height, more just a position, because I've got to look for some survey marks. So you can just unscrew your GPS antenna and neatly place it on top of the post, and that's a quick way of observing the post. And I've got it in, I've turned the tilt compensation off, which you can see here, little cross, that means the tilt's off. And you can see I've taken about 143 observations with a 3D quality of 20 mils, or 10 mils horizontal and 17 mils vertical. Again, I'm not really interested in the height component, because I'm just going to measure this post, that post, this peg, and a post up there. That's all I've got so far, because I can't find any survey marks. I'm hoping that just using those three I can localize, and that might help me drop on to some other marks. So we'll see how we go. Just another thing I wanted to share. How do we know that that post is actually at the corner? Well, the only way I can tell is I can see the remains of a survey peg. There's a star picket there, but there's a survey peg that's been pulled out, so it's quite possible they've pulled the peg out and put the post in right where the peg is. We'll have a look when we go up there and see what we can find. Okay, well, no peg to be found here. There is a star picket with a bit of white on leading towards that fence post. So for now, it's a pretty good assumption that the post has been placed at the corner. And once I finish measuring this, I should be able to localize and see what I can find. The Australian bush, for those international viewers, thanks so much for watching the channel. Time of posting the video, 128 subscribers, so I do appreciate that. Growing nice and slowly. This is the Australian landscape, the Australian bush. There's a Angophora, apple gum. More gum trees. The occasional blowfly. So after measuring to these three, one peg and two posts, I've undertaken a localization, or creating my own little coordinate system on the Leica CS20, and I've got a result of 22 mils by 4, which is not too bad considering at the moment the only decent mark I've found is a peg. I just want to draw a little attention here. We've got a line that comes down here, and then we've got a slight bend for 2 meters, and then it runs up the hill. Well, if we come over here and have a look, you'll notice the fence runs down here. Got a peg over there, and the fence is running up there. Well, actually what should happen with this fence is the fence runs down to this post here, across to that peg, and then back up to the corner. So actually this property owner here has done themselves a bit of a disfavour, because they've cut a corner of their land off, which they didn't need to. I mean, there's this enormous, great big eucalypt tree here, but the fence would have been tangled up a little bit, maybe the post, but really the fence should have gone from the post to the peg up there, which you can see we go down, slight little angle, and then back up to the corner. So this is the actual angle in the road. That's the corner of the boundary, but not to worry. That's what I thought when I made my calculations, and thankfully I got a pretty good localization result. So I'll go use that now and see what else I can find. I guess one closing comment is too that you can't always rely on fencing, and you've got to use your knowledge of looking at survey plans and fencing and just have a look to see if the fencing is sort of behaving the same way as what the survey plan says. And in this case it didn't. That's what I thought. When I've done the calculation, I get a half decent result. Had I thought something different, then maybe my localization result would have been pretty, well, wouldn't have been very good at all, and I'd still be scratching my head. So I guess that's years of experience for you. I don't know about other surveyors, but as it's just me, myself and I don't have an assistant just yet. It's easier for me to put the GPS just in the car here, lean up against the seat and hang on to it, rather than putting in the back of the boot and having it rumble around, especially on this rough dirt road. That's Old Northern Road, Maruta, which is the complete end of where I was a moment ago, and I've staked out a concrete block. Who would ever know that a survey mark exists here? There's no indication, but there it is, concrete block. You can see the size there, my hand, concrete block with a steel pin. So that's very exciting. I'll measure that, and that should tighten up my localization to help me find some more marks. Very exciting. Further down this boundary line, there's a fence intersection here, and there's a peg which I found. Not sure if it's been moved or not, but I'm going to measure it, and someone else has put a peg in or a stake in here, and they actually say, a bit hard to say, boundary corner post, and they've put a bit of a texture mark here, so I might make a reference to that too and see how they fit. There's supposed to be a reference mark here at the corner. I've had a dig but can't find anything, unfortunately, but peg might have to do for the moment. Oh, and we're back on Old Telegraph Road again. Sun's going down. It's time to pack up. I found a peg here, a recent mark, boundary corner. So I've measured that, and hopefully I can make sense of the survey. Sometimes you don't, I haven't found any of the survey reference marks, almost like they were never placed, or well, I did find one, but sometimes you scratch your head and wonder were they ever placed, were they ever put there in the first place. So I'll have to go back to the office and calculate the boundaries and see what I've found, pegs and various things, and how they fit with the original lot layout, and hopefully I can make sense of it. So I think I'm going to call it quits. I'll end the day looking at this wonderful Angophora tree. Monster that it is. Hear the birds. And a little bit of colour there, yellow flowers. I think they could be wattle. Great way to end the week. Nice and quiet out here. And this is a slightly longer video today, so thanks so much for watching if you got all the way to the end. I'm the Global Surveyor, and please like the video, subscribe to the channel so I can still continue making exciting surveying videos for you. I'm the Global Surveyor. Have a fantastic week and see you next time.